let's say I have this simple Django app or project that I can create players that belong to some sports teams. If I just input anything, we don't want to input exactly what the user's inputting. We want to make sure that the data they are inputting is valid. So if I click create, we want to have validation messages that say, hey, you have to include a first name, a last name, and a team. So let's say I wanted to input a new player. Right now, I have Michael Jordan. Let's say I also wanted to input Magic Johnson, Lakers. And then I click create. It'll create the player once there's valid data, and now it'll show in my list of players. Let's look at the code. In my index, I have this form that has the first name, last name, and current team, and then this is where we're looping through. When I click create, it's sending a post request to new player. So if I come to my URLs, it's going to go to new player, go into the views, it's going to execute this new player method. We are going to define our errors by whatever is returned by this method. We've seen objects before when we're querying the database, but we can actually create our own methods that are attached to objects by inheriting from models.manager. So I've created this method called basic validator that takes in self and the post data, and we're sending in request.post. So then I can access the first name, last name, and current team that they inputted, and I can return the errors. So errors right now is a dictionary, and if there is an error, we're going to give the key of whatever field was invalid and some message. Same thing if last name is less than 2, or the length of last name is less than 2, and if the length of current team is less than 2. Then we'll return errors. So errors will have either 0 or more than 0 key value pairs. If the length of errors is greater than 0, which means if there are errors, right, then we're going to use Django's messaging framework, or messages, from Django.contrib import messages, and display it on our screen. So if there are errors, we're going to iterate through our errors and attach it to our messages and return a redirect to the root. And here we have this snippet that says if there are messages, then iterate through them and show them. So by overriding this objects equals player manager, we now have access to any additional methods we want in here. And you have to make sure to inherit from models.manager and redefine objects. So if we go back and click create, now you can see where these error messages are coming from. We've defined the actual value of the message right here, and then an index is where we're actually going to iterate through them.